They built these traps specifically for people like you, people who earn decent money, people who pay their bills on time, people who are responsible enough to care, but just busy enough never to look too closely. I want to tell you about Marcus, 42 years old, earning $74,000 a year, married, 2 kids, a house in the suburbs that eats a mortgage payment every month. From the outside, doing everything right. From the inside, quietly panicking every time he does the math on retirement. Marcus was not broke, he was middle-class trapped. And what I'm about to show you is that those two things are not as different as most people think. Because the middle class has a set of financial traps built specifically around the life they live, the habits they trust, and the advice they've been given since childhood. 5 traps, engineered not by accident, but by design. And the most frustrating part? Most people inside them feel responsible for being in them. They blame themselves when the trap was never their fault to begin with. If you've ever done everything right and still felt behind, this video will show you exactly why. Hit subscribe and give this a thumbs up if it helps. Let's pull back the curtain. Trap number 1, the mortgage identity trap. You were sold a home, they kept the wealth it could have built. Marcus bought his house 6 years ago because that is what you do when you've made it. You stop renting, which is throwing money away, and you start building equity. You own something real. That story, drilled into the American middle class for generations, is not entirely wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete. And the incomplete part is costing Marcus and millions of people exactly like him a level of wealth they will never recover. In the first year of Marcus's 30-year mortgage, approximately 85 cents of every dollar he pays goes to the bank in interest, not to equity, not to ownership, to interest. His $1,200 monthly mortgage payment, about $840 of it goes to the bank in year 1. $60 builds actual equity. Here is what that means in real numbers, and let this land before you move on. On a $350,000 home at a 7% mortgage rate over 30 years, total interest paid to the bank, $487,000. That same $487,000 invested in a diversified index fund at 7% average annual return over 30 years, $1,870,000. The trap is not owning a home. The trap is believing that owning a home is the wealth-building strategy. And stopping there. The real estate industry, the mortgage industry, and 40 years of American cultural messaging all benefit from you believing that buying a house is the same thing as building wealth. It is not. It is the beginning of a plan, not the plan itself. Now, you might be thinking, but renting is throwing money away. At least with a mortgage, I'm building something. You're building equity, slowly, after interest at the bank's timeline. A renter who consistently invests the difference between rent and a mortgage payment often outperforms a homeowner financially over 20 years. The question is not rent versus own. It is, are you building assets beyond the 4 walls, or has the mortgage become the financial finish line? Here is your specific action this week. Pull up your most recent mortgage statement. Find the line showing how much went to interest this month versus how much went to principal. Write those 2 numbers down side by side. Most people have never looked at this. Then ask yourself, what is growing in parallel to this house? If the answer is nothing, that is where to start. Trap number 2, the car payment cycle trap. A new payment every 4 years forever, designed that way. Marcus drives a 2022 SUV. Payment $540 a month. He is on his 4th financed car in 12 years. He paid off the last one, felt great about it, and was back at a dealership 60 days later. The car payment is the single most accepted, most normalized, most quietly devastating monthly drain in the American middle class, and the industry built around it has one goal: keep you in a payment cycle every 4 years for the rest of your earning life. Never owning outright, always servicing debt, always starting over. The conversation at the dealership is never about the total cost of the vehicle. It is always about the monthly payment. Can you afford $540 a month? Yes? Great. The total wealth transfer stays invisible. Run this number slowly because it is going to be uncomfortable. Marcus's $540 monthly car payment maintained continuously from age 30 to age 65. Total payments made $226,800. That same $540 per month invested at 7% average return over 35 years, $1,047,000. The car payment cycle did not just cost Marcus $226,000 in payments. It cost him over $1 million in wealth he will never build. And the average American car payment in 2024 is not $540. It is $735 a month. Now you might be thinking, I need a reliable car. I can't just not have a vehicle. Nobody is saying, don't have a car. The trap is the cycle. Finance, pay off, upgrade, finance again, indefinitely. The break is this: buy a reliable used car outright, drive it well past the point of comfort, and invest the payment you would have made. One generation of this habit builds wealth most middle-class Americans never access. Your specific action: write down your exact monthly car payment. Open any free compound interest calculator. Type in that number at 7% for 20 years. Look at what it becomes. Make the trade-off visible before you make it again. Trap number 3, the minimum payment maze trap. Designed by lenders for lenders, you were never meant to escape. Marcus has $9,000 in credit card debt. He makes the minimum payment every month. Never missed one. Credit score is solid. By every external measure, he is being responsible. And that is exactly how the trap is supposed to feel. In the 1970s, credit card minimum payments were set at 5% of the outstanding balance. Most debts cleared in 3 to 4 years. Then the credit industry quietly shifted minimums to 2%, then 1%. That single change extended average debt repayment from 4 years to over 2 decades. It was not a convenience update. It was a revenue engineering decision. The minimum payment was not designed to help you get out of debt. It was engineered to keep you in debt as long as mathematically possible, while keeping you just comfortable enough that you never feel the urgency to break free. Marcus's $9,000 at 22% APR on minimum payments only. Time to pay off: 27 years. Total interest paid over $16,000. Total repaid on a $9,000 debt, $25,200. Paying double the minimum instead, 4.5 years. Total interest, $3,900. Money saved, $12,300 and 22 years of his life. Now you might be thinking, I'm current on every payment. Isn't that being financially responsible? You're being responsible to the lender, not to yourself. Staying current protects your credit score. Paying double the minimum starts building your actual future. The lender wants you current and comfortable indefinitely. You want to be free. Those two goals require different actions. Your specific action tonight, not this weekend, tonight. Log into your highest interest credit card. Find the minimum payment amount. Change your automatic payment to double that number. If doubling is impossible, add $50. Any amount above the minimum breaks the trap the lender built. Then calculate how many months until the balance hits zero. Write that date somewhere visible. The debt now has a deadline. Trap number 4, the lifestyle inflation trap. Every raise you ever earned, they were ready for it before you were. 3 years ago, Marcus got a promotion. Salary went from $60,000 to $74,000, $14,000 more dollars a year. He celebrated. He had earned it. 18 months later, nothing to show for it. Not because he wasted it, because every system around him was calibrated to absorb it the moment it arrived. The apartment upgrade, the car upgrade, the dining habits shifting upward almost without discussion, the kids' activities expanding, the wardrobe quietly stepping up. Nothing dramatic, nothing reckless, just the natural, socially expected expansion that follows earning more. And every advertisement, every cultural signal, every congratulatory instinct confirmed it. You earned more, now live like it. Here is the number that should make you pause the next time a raise lands. Marcus's raise, $14,000 a year, $1,167 extra per month take home. Amount he invested from that raise in the following 12 months, 0. Amount absorbed by lifestyle expansion, $1,167 a month. $1,167 per month invested at 7% over 20 years, $607,000. A 2023 Empower survey found that 65% of Americans increased their spending within 3 months of receiving a raise, while only 31% increased their savings rate. The lifestyle trap does not wait for you to settle in. It moves faster than you do. Now you might be thinking, I worked hard for that raise. Am I not allowed to enjoy it? Absolutely you are. The rule is not don't enjoy it. The rule is sequence. Invest 50% of every raise first, before a single lifestyle habit adjusts. You still feel the reward. You still live better. But future, you gets a share of every raise present you earns. Applied consistently across a career, that sequencing is how ordinary incomes build extraordinary wealth. Your specific action: write this rule somewhere you will see it before your next raise arrives. 50% of every income increase goes to investments before lifestyle adjusts. Set it, automate it the moment the new paycheck hits. The lifestyle gets the other half. Future you gets built with this half. Trap number 5, the retirement-only investing trap. They let you invest, just not enough and just not freely. Marcus has a 401k. He contributes enough to get the employer match. His HR department told him it was the smart move. His colleagues do the same. He has been quietly proud of this for years, and it is good, genuinely. But here is what nobody told Marcus, and what most of the middle class has never been told. The 401k is not a wealth-building strategy. It is a starting point, and most of the middle class was never told there was supposed to be anything after it. The wealthy build in 2 tracks simultaneously. Track 1, retirement accounts, 401k, IRA, maxed, automated, growing tax advantaged. Track 2, a taxable brokerage account, accessible at any age, compounding freely, available for opportunities, emergencies, and financial independence decades before 65. The middle class was sold Track 1 and told it was the whole system. The Federal Reserve's 2023 data: only 33% of Americans own stocks outside of retirement accounts. 67% of the country is building wealth they cannot touch until they are 59 and a half, and have almost nothing growing freely in between. Now you might be thinking, I maxed my 401k already. Isn't that enough? It is more than most people do, genuinely. But maxing a retirement account and building wealth are not the same thing. Wealth also means optionality, the ability to use capital before 65, to weather a job loss without panic, to invest in an opportunity when it appears. A taxable brokerage account, even with $100 a month, starts building that freedom. The goal is not just retirement, it is financial freedom at any age. Your specific action this week: open a taxable brokerage account if you do not already have one. Fidelity, Vanguard, and Schwab all offer 0 minimum accounts that take under 10 minutes to open. Set up an automatic monthly investment if $50, $100, whatever is honest for where you are right now. Turn on automatic reinvestment, leave it alone. You now have 2 wealth-building systems running simultaneously. That is the gap between the middle class and the people who escape it. Marcus sat down with a piece of paper and mapped all 5 traps. Not to feel bad about where he was, to understand exactly what had been working on him without his knowledge and without his consent for over a decade. He pulled up his mortgage amortization schedule for the first time in 6 years. He ran his car payment through a compound interest calculator and sat with the number for a full minute. He logged into his credit card that evening and changed the automatic payment. He wrote the 50% raise rule on a sticky note and put it on his monitor. And he opened a brokerage account on a Thursday night with a $100 initial deposit. Same income, same city, same job. 5 default settings changed. Completely different financial trajectory. Here is what I need you to understand before you close this video. None of these traps required you to be irresponsible to fall into them. Not one. Every single trap was built for the person who was trying. The person who paid their mortgage on time, kept up with their car payment, made the minimum every month without fail, and contributed to the retirement account like they were told. The traps were built for the responsible middle-class person because that person is the most profitable customer, reliable, compliant, and just too busy to look at the fine print closely enough. You just looked closely, and everything you saw can be addressed, specifically, practically starting today, without earning a single dollar more than you earn right now. That is not motivation, that is math. The difference between where Marcus was and where he is heading now is not income. It is 5 default settings he finally decided to change. You have 5 of your own. You know what they are now. The only question is which one you change first, and whether you do it today or let another year of defaults run your financial future for you. Drop one number in the comments before you leave. Which trap, 1 through 5, are you currently inside? Just the number. And if you're willing, tell me the one action you're taking today, not planning to take. Taking. The moment you write a specific action in public, your brain treats it differently than a private intention. You've just raised your own accountability for free in 15 seconds. If this pulled back a curtain you needed to see, hit that like button. 1 second. Puts this in front of more people who are inside these traps right now without knowing it. Subscribe for a new video every week. Real financial psychology, real wealth mechanics, no fluff. I'll see you in the next one. The traps are visible now. Walk out of one of them today.